Westerns don't get much bigger or better than Rio Bravo. Released in 1959, this legendary Western, directed by Howard Hawks and starring John Wayne, has stood the test of time as one of the most entertaining and influential films of its genre. Welcome back to Review Lens. It's time to talk about Westerns. With its blend of action, camaraderie, humor, and grit, Rio Bravo feels like a movie that manages to balance old-school heroics with cool characters. The film tells the story of a small-town sheriff, played by John Wayne, who, along with an unlikely ragtag group of allies, must keep a dangerous prisoner locked up in the face of a violent gang trying to bust him out. And while that premise might sound straightforward, Rio Bravo became so much more thanks to its sharp characters and its underlying message about loyalty, inner strength, and trust. Let's kick things off with some context. Rio Bravo was essentially Howard Hawks' response to the 1952 Western High Noon, which many filmmakers, John Wayne included, felt was too weak in its portrayal of heroism. In High Noon, the sheriff nervously begs townsfolk to help him, while in Rio Bravo, John Wayne's sheriff, John T. Chance, refuses assistance and maintains his independence, relying only on his small circle of determined, though flawed, friends. That difference in philosophy reflects the bigger themes Hawks and Wayne were exploring in the film: standing your ground, the strength of small communities, and the idea of doing what's right no matter the odds. For Wayne especially, this was an important project. It wasn't just another Western. It was a statement about the type of hero he wanted to show on screen. The cast of Rio Bravo is legendary in its own right. Alongside Wayne, you've got the one and only Dean Martin in his best acting performance ever. He plays Dude, a former gunslinger turned drunken deputy who's battling his personal demons to redeem himself. Martin's portrayal is funny, tragic, and heartfelt. Then there's Ricky Nelson, playing Colorado, a slick young gunslinger who more than holds his own alongside these heavy hitters. Add singer-actress Angie Dickinson as Feathers, the quick-witted and charming love interest, and Walter Brennan as the cranky but lovable Stumpy, and you've got one of the most memorable casts in Western history. Their chemistry makes Rio Bravo feel like both a tense Western and a surprisingly warm hangout movie. If you've never seen it, you'll love it. Now, for some fun trivia that'll make you love Rio Bravo even more. First, let's talk about those musical moments. Yep, you read that right. A Western with music. There's that unforgettable scene where Dean Martin and Ricky Nelson break out into the song My Rifle, My Pony, and Me. It wasn't just thrown in for fun either. Hawks recognized the musical talents of his cast and wanted to lean into it. The result? A laid-back and surprisingly cool moment that breaks from the action, but somehow feels perfectly fitting in the movie's world. Fun fact, the guitar Ricky Nelson plays in the scene originally belonged to singer Jimmie Rodgers, one of the pioneers of American country music. Speaking of Dean Martin, this was a huge role for him. Up until Rio Bravo, Martin was often typecast as the comedic half of the Martin and Lewis duo, or as a Vegas crooner. This movie gave him the chance to show off his dramatic skills, and he totally nailed it. In fact, many critics at the time raved about his performance as Dude, a man struggling to reclaim his dignity and skill. Another cool fact, Rio Bravo was filmed in the famous old Tucson studios in Arizona, which was, and still is, one of Hollywood's most iconic locations for Westerns. The sets from Rio Bravo have been reused in countless movies and TV shows, making it a cornerstone of Western cinema history. Then there's the relationship between John Wayne and Howard Hawks, which was essential to the film's success. This wasn't the first time they worked together, but it remains one of their most iconic collaborations. Wayne trusted Hawks' vision completely, and Hawks knew exactly how to get the best out of Wayne. The result is one of Wayne's most charismatic performances. Tough yet wise, stoic yet warm. And for those paying close attention, you'll notice that the sheriff's wardrobe in Rio Bravo would later inspire Wayne's costume in another beloved Western, El Dorado, which was essentially a redo of Rio Bravo by the same team. A fun bit of behind-the-scenes trivia. Angie Dickinson, who was just 27 during filming, admitted later that she was pretty nervous acting alongside John Wayne. She thought he might be intimidating, but quickly put her at ease with his humor and kindness. Their on-screen chemistry feels natural, with Wayne playing the grizzled sheriff and Dickinson portraying the sharp, flirtatious Feathers. Their scenes together add a lighter, playful tone to the otherwise tense storyline. The legacy of Rio Bravo is undeniable. It's influenced countless filmmakers, including Quentin Tarantino, who once revealed that he modeled the pacing of his own movie, The Hateful Eight, after Rio Bravo. It's also one of those rare classics that holds up decades later. The humor, the action, the characters, it all works. And for John Wayne fans, it's an essential watch. He's at his absolute best here, showing both his toughness and his human side. To this day, Rio Bravo remains a mix of everything you'd want in a Western. Unforgettable heroes, sharp dialogue, thrilling action, and all the heart you didn't know you needed. So, the next time you're in the mood for a classic, give it a watch. It's 2 hours of pure cinematic gold. But what about you? Do you think Rio Bravo is one of the greatest Westerns ever made? And who's your favorite character? John T. Chance, Dude, or maybe Feathers? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more reviews and deep dives into classic films like this one.